early on in my craft beer journey, they were like very small. I can't remember whether they were contract brewing or whatever, but they were a regular on. There used to be a podcast. What was it? Ale of a Time.
With the mic and chatting news on all things beer. Joined by Phil, Dan, and Matt, or anyone else to join the cheer. Hiker Brewing is where we chat, because it's where good beers are at. So pour it out.
All right, mate.
Hello.
Welcome.
Back.
You're back. You're back in the hot seat. How cool are we? We're both sitting here doing a craft beer podcast, drinking water. But,
2 days off the grog.
that's right.
Well,
Yeah.
Sunday was enforced, really.
Yeah, after Saturday's
After Saturday.
Bermuda efforts. Yeah, I had a big day on Saturday too, but I wasn't down here. I was up at my mum's on the sunny coast. So,
I just, just on the waters. Pour it out.
That's right.
My mind's sparkling, yours is straight, so
Yeah,
I got brewer's water.
that's right.
Anyway,
Mate,
That's good.
before we get too far into it, mate, just go through and thank our sponsors as always. Bintani, Craft Punks Canning, Convoy Kegs, Rallings Labels and Stickers, and of course, Hiker Brewing.
concern. That's always a concern.
It is a concern. Mate, some big news, which people would have heard about last week, but if you haven't bought your tickets already and you're from Brisbane or the Sunny and Gold Coast, come along to the Crafty Pint and the Pour It Out collaboration live event podcast recording. That's pretty exciting. I'm looking
when's
forward
that?
to it.
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, that is.
The 9th.
Yes.
Should be good at East Brisbane, so that'll be good. So
Yeah.
we need to actually need to get on the guide to update the wall. So that's going to be the backdrop. So
Yeah, well, it's not just us who are going to be there either. Becky, who formerly worked at Little Miss Sunshine but is now at Revel Brewing, will be there as well as a special guest. As long as Ivy from Netherworld, venue manager from Netherworld,
yeah,
which will be pretty cool.
that'd be cool.
So I'm looking forward to it. Should be
good.
good afternoon. We've got a food truck there. There's Food Baby going to come along and
Yeah. So you can get your tickets and get a schooner of Horizon.
That's
if
right.
not, if it's a last minute thing, just turn up and just buy a beer. You know,
That's-
it's not.
yeah.
It's not. Anyway, everyone's welcome. So
Yeah, it's
whether
not-
you buy a ticket before or just turn up, more the merrier, I reckon.
yeah, I think it'll be good. If the room's full of people and drinking beer, it'll be pretty fun. And I think a lot of people, as with a lot of events these days, will grab tickets or just turn up,
Yeah, I think so.
see what it's like on the night.
On
so,
the night, yeah.
yeah, here's hoping it's a fun night. I'll be having a fun night. I know I said I'm not gonna drink for 3 or 4 weeks, but that night I'm gonna.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
I'll be a lightweight. I'll probably have my one schooner.
Cadbury.
Talking silly.
Cadbury glass and a half.
That's right.
Getting ready for Easter.
100%. I might bring in a chocolate Easter egg and drink the new chocolate milk stout
Yeah,
out
we
of
should.
it.
Yeah, we need to do that. We spoke
Yeah.
about that today, so we need to actually, try and remember on the weekend so we can do some footage. That's
Yeah.
one of the things. Yeah, we should do a bit more of video stuff. So
Probably going to cost us $40 just in Easter eggs.
probably.
Crazy the price of them.
Are they? I don't know.
But yeah, there's chocolate shortage at the moment.
Oh, okay.
And this weekend, Aussie Beer Voyage, new episode drops. It's our second time that we went out and visited Andrew and Steve at Hilltop Hops Farm.
Yep.
It's their second farm.
Yeah.
So it's the second time I've done an episode with them, and the second time I didn't drink any beer. But I don't know what's going on.
Did you do that before the cyclone, or was it?
Yeah, it was before the cyclone.
Yeah, because we put an order in for some wet hops.
Yep.
But unfortunately, because of the cyclone, the yield wasn't as good, so there was a lot that got damaged.
Yeah.
So we got the word that our the amount that we were going to get, we weren't going to get any. So
Yeah.
which was lucky that they let us know early enough, because we just ordered the cans.
Oh yeah.
So I had to pull the can order.
Yeah, yeah.
So which is it's a real shame for them, because it's definitely a labour of love.
Yeah, I was talking to Andrew on Friday. He came into the bar and was having a chat to me and just saying they didn't realise how much had been affected.
Yeah, so really sad, particularly when it's it's a labour of love.
Yeah.
They're obviously trying to like cover costs and stuff like that, so getting whacked with a lower yield. It's not it's not great for them, but but unfortunately that's the nature of the beast.
Agricultural product, that's what can happen, right? There's certainly a lot of farmers doing it tough at the moment with all this inland rain that's
definitely. So but if you see they've obviously still got a yield, and I think Slipstream have
I think
brewed
Archer
one.
would get some.
Some of them. So if you see them, support those beers, because like the more that they sell, the more appetite for people to actually like get the hops when they're available. So
it was great when we were out there. We had a great old chat. There's some new information coming out from Andrew about some new hops that he's trying to get going. Just on his own accord at his own little farm. On another lot.
Did they talk about how they imported some hops from
he
the US?
Did. He did talk about the process and how difficult that was.
A nightmare.
Yeah,
because I can still remember he came in. He came in one day and he was chatting about like he's going to import these hop plants or rhizomes or from the US.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, what hop? And he went, oh, Vista. And I said, oh, you want to try it?
Yeah.
And like he freaked out. What? Have you got Vista? And I went, yeah. And like he was worried someone in Australia already had it.
Yeah.
But I said, no, it's just like we got an early batch of the experimental. So so it's good for him to actually be able to taste it in one of our beers. And it's we've had it in I think Vista, the hazy IPA, and then we put it in the Brute because the flavours are quite good. So we've done the Brute. Like, that's my Christmas Day beer, so I've done that for the last two Christmases.
Yeah.
So I'm extremely excited when they get that up and running. When they can actually semi-commercialise that.
Yeah,
so,
well, the Vista plants that they have were the healthiest in their entire farm.
Yeah.
The huge big leaves, big fat cones.
Yeah, okay.
Looked great.
Yeah, nice.
Andrew goes into detail quite a lot and talks about how big their farm is now and what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a really good episode. Even if you've seen the first one, don't think that this is just talking about the same shit, because it's not.
Yeah. Actually, I did quickly see Andrew at Bermuda, but
it
was a high buy.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah.
Mate, some news dropped this week about a brewery going into liquidation, Molly Rose.
Yeah, no, it's really sad because early on in my craft beer journey, they were like very small. I can't remember whether they were contract brewing or whatever, but they were a regular on. There used to be a podcast. What was it? Ale of a Time.
I remember that one. Yep.
Yeah. So like he came on a few times. About because he really changed his business. Like it was really different beers, and then he ended up getting his own premises, and then everyone was a bit shocked that he went for mainstream pales and stuff like that. So, I remember listening to those conversations, a long time ago, and it's just sad to see another one sort of go. Although who knows, it might be Phoenix or something. I don't understand all this. I haven't read it fully, but it's been liquidated. But
how are you going to be able to open it again?
You can't. Really, I don't think. I haven't read it and I don't fully understand. So, but, it sounds like a Phoenix job which a couple of breweries have done in the last little bit. Which, I don't know whether that's good or bad or indifferent.
Yeah. Do you think that they liquidated and closed up so that they could go through this process instead of going through the VA and having to get a docker and do it that way?
I'm not sure. What's the advantage?
I don't know.
I don't really know and can't really sort of comment in regards to Yeah, that, because I haven't really looked into it, so...
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't really understand, as we've talked about, like as much as I've read about VAs and liquidations and even worked for a business that was coming out of a VA.
Yeah.
I don't fully understand how all of these, business structures work. But it just seems weird that they are able to close and then have a new ownership structure with the same owners.
Yeah, because liquidation really is about, from my understanding, is really about selling all the assets and then paying off as much debt as you can. So whether they're thinking that they can buy the assets back or something at a cheaper price, because probably maybe this is just me in fantasy world, maybe they were in debt to their eyeballs with their equipment and stuff like that. Equipment not really worth too much anymore, so it might
there's
be
so
a
much
way.
equipment available on the market.
Yeah, so maybe it's a way of doing that, but I just hope that none of their suppliers get screwed over in the process.
Yep.
I know of another one that's happened recently. I know a couple of our suppliers have been hit hard by it.
It's the ever increasing risk, right? The more breweries in the industry that fall on their sword, there's those external businesses that are supporting the brewing industry. Like some of our sponsors, like Railings, Craft Punks, those sort of people. Condor Kegs is in VA at the moment, liquidated, whatever they're in. There's all of these external businesses to the breweries that are also getting pressures put on them from.
And then it just makes our, there's a flow-on effect.
Yeah.
The terms that we get are harder and harder. So we had an instance with one of our suppliers. They didn't actually forgot to send us an invoice, and when it came to ordering some stuff, they basically said, "Oh, you're in arrears," and I went, "Well, I haven't got the invoice."
Yeah.
And then they apologised and said, "Oh yeah, we forgot to send it, but you still need to pay it before we'll actually give you another order, even though it's their stuff up."
Yeah.
And I went, "Don't we get another month on that?" So it's just like,
Yeah. Wow.
it wasn't that we missed it.
Yeah.
They actually didn't send it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and I know how fastidious you are with paying invoices. You do them.
I do them,
when they're due.
When they're due, that's what I mean. I feel the pain on the other end when we're waiting. People are overdue, and I personally hate it. So, I always pay ours on time or a day before. Just so that it's like, so we're known as
the notification.
Yeah,
goes
so
through,
and by the time the money goes through the bank system and stuff like that. So we want to be known as a good customer. So when we need something quickly, people will bend over backwards. It's not like that's why we.
That's how it should work, right?
Well, that's I think it's karma, right? You do the right thing and it comes back. We got some bars and stuff that we're still we're 2 months now, and I keep resending the invoice and try and ring them. It's only maybe it's about two grand all up, but it's freaking frustrating.
But that adds up,
and it just you're wasting your time.
Yeah,
you got to get on with business. So without having to chase up people. So
do you reckon with the federal election coming up in May that the result will affect anything sort of financial with anyone, or is the economy going to change much for the brewing industry?
Who knows? I think they've all agreed with the excise rebate, all that. I think they've all got the same policy. So I saw the IBA coming out and going, they're still pushing with the different parties, but I think the parties have, drawn a line in the sand. Yep, we won't increase excise on draft beer for 2 years.
Yeah,
doesn't mean pack beer. So which
just makes the tax system more complicated.
It's
just
freaking
splitting
stupid.
the beers up.
And then the threshold of 350 to 400. That's fine. It's not going to change the world for anyone.
Yeah.
I think I'm more interested in like at the moment, like in the Labor budget, the instant asset write-off of up to 20k is not continued, like in the budget. So like I'm keeping a close eye on that, because because I'd like to like get solar on at East Brisbane, and things like that. So, and I'd like to reduce our profit for the year so we don't have to pay too much company tax. So like if I can like spend just under 20k on a solar system at East Brisbane and get that off, and I don't have to pay tax. Then there's those type of things. So I'm just wait and see what happens on the 3rd of May. See who gets in, and those type of things, because there'll be another budget based after that, and then it'll be a scramble to get things done. So but anyway, I think that's the big one for us personally. I can't see that alcohol excise reform is going to come anytime soon. It's I think it's all smoke and mirrors in regards to putting a freeze on the excise.
Well, that's just really not helping a lot of small
It's not helping
producers.
It's really not helping bugger all, really.
No, but it's because the media arced up and did so many stories about the price of beers in the pub, and it's the big pubs that are complaining so loudly, and because the AHA has such a big voice as well.
No, definitely. But it's interesting times. So, and it'll be interesting. Like I'm ho-hum about the elections, whatever. So see what happens.
Mate, I've found this article on the drinks business. It's EU brewers, so European brewers, ditch US hops for New Zealand hops. This is on account of a lot of the European Union has a very strict organic certification. So if you want to sell your hops over into the European Union, you want to say they're organic or whatever, you have to abide by really strict laws. And the US isn't able to do that necessarily with things like Mosaic, Citra and whatnot. And New Zealand, their hop growing conditions mean that they don't get a lot of the bugs or the bacteria and whatnot that attack the hops, and that's why it's such a strong region to grow hops down there.
And I think that's probably the same in Australia too. Like,
and New Zealand export something like 85% of their hop production out to the world.
New Zealand has done a really good job. Because I think Bintani's putting on an NZ hop preview. This Friday. So, at Sea Lake. So I think. Well, Daniel's definitely going. I'm going to try and make it, but we'll see. It's just at an odd time with the tap room. But so that's like an NZ hops have got a really good name. So
well, I think they're struggling over in Europe as well to grow decent hops with climate change, because it's just getting too warm for them, and it's not able. The hops still grow, but that's just affecting the yield and the alpha acid content, which is, that's what we need when we're brewing.
And you wonder how much of the Trump effect is on it. So
there's that too.
Probably, Anyway, it's probably. Oh no, it's the other way, isn't it? Tariffs the other way. So if they're sending stuff like that. So, but who knows? But no, I think New Zealand hops in general have done a really good job in marketing and branding and things like that. I think they're quite smick. And also the varieties that they're releasing, I think are really good. I think it's probably something. No disrespect to HBA, but I can't recall them bringing out any sort of new hops of late. So
no, was it Eclipse?
Eclipse, I think was probably the last one. That was a few years ago now.
Yeah.
So I think no, it's good. So it's good to see Although, well, again, I suppose going from the US to Europe's probably less food miles, but also the pest and everything like that. But you'd think going through the palletisation process
that'd all be negated.
Probably very low risk, you would have thought. Like it's not like you're taking hops out to a hop field. Like you're basically taking them out of bags straight into either the kettle or into a fermenter. So it's
you're putting them into a.
Yeah,
you're not going to walk them through a hop farm. Like brewers
so
aren't really next to hop farms.
Like so it's interesting, really. So good on them.
We often get stories about AI beers and AI used to brew beers and things like that. This is another article, and this is another take on it. So this is in Japan, and these beers are AI-generated beers based on different generations, flavours and expectations of how beers taste. So there's 4 different beers. One's for people in their 20s, one in their 30s, one in their 40s, and one in their 50s.
Yeah.
Because, as you get older, your tastes change. You expect different things when you taste something. What do you reckon about this approach?
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, how are they different? Like, obviously different stuff, but do they actually talk about each of the beers, or?
Yeah, well, I think it's, someone in their 20s expects something to taste a little bit different and the aroma a little bit different.
Interesting in terms of... okay. Yeah, no, it's interesting. I think it's good marketing spin.
100%. I think that as well.
It's probably, what is it, like hard solo? Is that like the 20s drink?
Yeah.
No, it's, good.
It'd be interesting to taste them all
I'd like to
in
get
a
a
flight.
4-pack.
Yeah.
So Japan, okay. Have to go to Japan to...
Yeah.
I'll get Dan Ethel to send me a 4-pack.
Yeah, that's what we need. We need someone who's on the ground there to help us out.
He was emailing me today about something, so...
There you go.
I'll see if he can, like... He'll hunt it down.
Yeah.
Whether he can get it to Australia is another thing.
Yeah. Yeah, well, our old mate Brendan, who made the chicken for us.
Oh, yeah.
He messaged me yesterday, and his boss was over in Japan, and Brendan gave him a challenge and said, I want some Japanese beers, and these are the beers that his boss brought back for him, from like Yokohama wheat, so Yokohama beer, and there's a black IPA in there. There's some cool beers.
Yeah, nice.
So maybe if Brendan's boss is going back there, we can ask him to do something for us as well.
It's funny, input prompts for new beer development. Please create a new craft beer recipe based on the image of Japanese people in their 20s.
Yeah.
Anyway, the job of brewers will be out of a job soon.
That's right. What enzymes do we use here for brewing beer? How many of you different beer enzymes have you used in brewing?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm out of touch.
Yeah.
I know we got an enzyme for...
Because you were doing the brewed IPA, you'd use an enzyme.
Yeah,
definitely
dry it out. And then also there's, the one that gets rid of diacetyl.
Yep.
So whatever that's called. There's big long things. So they're about the main two that we do.
So I was reading about these ones. Some of these sound really cool. Laminex Super 3G, which reduces the viscosity of your mash. So you can lauter a lot quicker and you get more yield from your beer. So that just...
That's interesting. So can that replace... Yeah, so what's that replace? Rice hulls in a...
Well, yeah. It doesn't say that it replaces that, but it... New Belgium over in the States obviously brews a lot of beer, but it reckons it saved them around $70,000 in 1 year.
Really?
Yeah.
Like getting more beer out, or
more beer out and production time.
Yeah, just like stuck mashes,
yeah.
preventing stuck mashes.
To
Because
be
that's
able
what I
to
mean,
allow
like the old thing with hazies, like putting wheat and oats in.
Yep.
You put in rice hulls, so maybe that's interesting.
Yeah.
Laminex. I'll just go to Bunnings and buy some Laminex
Some
and shave her up.
Chuck it in there.
What could go wrong?
Well, there's another one. IFF. Enzyme B clear. Which, yeah, faster seller turnover. So, it's,
But is that just like Biofine, or?
it must be, but it works with the Fuge.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, obviously you get your beer clearer in tank before you push it through the Fuge and things like that. So you don't.
Yeah.
Need
So
to
it's a cold side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but there's a lot of
Oh, there's so many new products coming out.
Different things, right?
Like can't keep up with it.
yeah. Amylex, alpha amylase, advanced
Alpha amylase,
4000,
yeah, okay,
diazyme, used for saccharification and attenuation control. So highly attenuated low carb beers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No low for non-alcoholic or low alcoholic.
With less grist and a lower environmental impact. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? That we're starting to get down to all these different enzymes and
Yeah.
things that can produce more beers, but. Mate, April Fool's Day is today.
Yep.
You do any
clangers?
prank? I did a clanger.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's not so much clanger; it was a small one. But on the Hendo and Dan Norris's podcast group,
Yeah.
the Boss and the Brewer, I put a post on there saying that we're starting the podcast back up every 2 weeks. Put up some topics if you want to join in.
I didn't get many. I didn't see that.
There were a few laughs on it, and a few people who caught what I did.
Yeah.
A few people messaged me on the quiet saying, "How serious is it?"
So serious.
Yeah.
There was a few. Yeah, there was one. I can't remember which brewery it was, but they had like their milk stout in a milk carton.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I found this one from the past. This was way back in 2014 of oak aged beer of a brewery that carved bottle shaped oak barrels.
Oh, nice. That's clever.
So it's the shape of a bottle, but it's a little oak stave.
Yep.
That has the beer in it, and you need to open it at the right time.
Yeah, nice.
So that it doesn't get too oaky.
That was good. Yeah, I always had the idea of like bringing out a range of like, butterscotch, lager and like
Oh, yeah.
just, like all the faults.
Yeah.
You're just like,
We've added it to the beer.
I've had that idea for a few years. I keep forgetting. The biggest one I ever played, like not beer related, but I used to go to a gym called 9 Rounds near work when I worked at the RNA.
Yep.
Anyway, and I was when I was super fit. I was going down kickboxing like every morning, every lunch, every afternoon.
Yeah, right.
And I actually set up that I was going to have a fight in the gym on
April Fool's
Day at 5:30 or something, and all these people turned up. Anyway,
not Phil.
Me versus my brother, I think it was, because he just started. So, and I was always like they had to wear. You wore the My Zone freaking things or whatever.
Yep.
And I was always like proud of being the number one. Every month. So I used to like flog myself. And then so that was so I did this whole thing with the trainers there and everything like that we're gonna actually have a legitimate fight between me and my brother.
It's gonna be full on.
Anyway, tricked a lot of like the regulars, like they came for it. They go, anyway, it's quite funny. Funny at the time.
Nice, mate. We touched on it at the start of the episode. Bermuda was just on over the weekend on Saturday.
Rainy.
It was definitely rainy. Big day.
Yeah, biggest Bermuda ever.
Yeah.
So, which I didn't expect. given the weather conditions.
Yeah, no, it was
But
pretty.
I think, I think it was good. Like, because we bought all the tables in from the beer garden. They're still in.
Yeah, we're sitting on it.
We still haven't moved them back, and that's probably tomorrow's job.
Yeah.
Before we clean the tap room. But yeah, so yeah, really good day, really good vibe. I think maybe like the rain played in our favour. Like a lot of like sport would have been cancelled.
Yeah.
So a lot of people had a bit of extra free time. So we definitely saw, because I run a report after every Bermuda, because it helps me like with rostering
Staffing.
staff and things like that. How many beers we sell per hour.
Yeah.
So, and we definitely. There was a definite shift earlier in the day for us, so
Yeah.
which was really good. So we did a couple of massive hours. Unfortunately, that was when Daniel and I were behind the bar.
You're getting hammered.
We're getting hammered. As soon as the other staff turned up, it started slowing down. So it was just like, anyway, definitely not complaining, but like it was just like, because every Bermuda's had this same sort of bell curve type, well, bit of a thing, but it was freaking getting hammered.
You managed to get on the bus though.
Yeah,
Go
so as soon
around
as the staff came, it was just like, and everyone got settled in. Yeah, we went around the venues, so got a haircut at
Oh, did you?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Jo was shitty. She got asked for ID by the door staff at Ballistic. Ballistic probably needed a glassy or two.
I heard about there was a few glasses that needed to be picked up, and it was getting out in plastic cups.
We got our beer in plastic cups.
Yeah.
There's a whole table outside just full of like glasses. You
Just needed an extra staff.
Yeah, exactly.
Thought how big the day would be.
Well, it's like we had like 1.5 people on glasses.
Yeah.
So we always do, because we
You've
just
got to have that rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just can't sit behind the bar.
No.
So, but that was good. Helios was good. They moved their mini golf from outside upstairs. So
Nice.
yeah. So and then Slipstream. Yeah, I can't remember too much of it. I think it was good.
Had enough beers by then.
Yeah.
You were-
I was maybe hitting on a chick by then. But and I got the thanks but no thanks message the next morning.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
oh, well.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think we can be romantically involved.
Bermuda Phil.
Yeah, it was
Strikes
just like
out.
it's just like, oh well.
Yeah.
Because I woke up in the morning and I saw this message. I'm going, who is this?
Oh, dear.
And I went,
Oh,
oh
dear.
yeah, that's right. I remember now. Anyway, no, it was a fun day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so definitely, I think like we had like all our tables were packed. I'm so glad we brought the tables in.
Yeah.
I'm even thinking, it's hard. Like I'm even thinking, like it was so good the vibe here in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It was just like pumping, like and splitting it between
Do
now
you
and the
get
beer
more
garden.
furniture for here and the beer
Oh
garden.
yeah. So when's Thursday? When's Powerball?
yeah, that's the trick.
So I'd like to get some more furniture.
Yeah.
I'd like to get some more like foldable tables and stuff like that, so that we can like put out and
It's all learnings, right?
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
all, if anyone wants to sponsor some tables, happy to put their plaque on it.
That's right.
It was a very good day, considering I think all the breweries were very nervous.
With
in
the
the
weather
lead up
and-
in the weather, but talking to all the. Well, I didn't talk to anyone at Ballistic, but I know Slipstream did really well.
Yeah.
Scott was very happy when I had a beer with him at Helios, so I think it was good. So look
It was
forward
good at
to
East
the next
Brisbane.
one.
Apparently, I wasn't there either.
Yeah, with AFL games.
Yeah,
so,
the AFL game, so people coming in beforehand to
Yep.
grab a few beers. We had the ball to give away, the
Yep.
Premiership ball, and so a lot of people were in there having some beers, wanted to win that, which was great. Scott was disappointed he had to give it away.
Oh, is he an AFL?
He loves AFL. We've been trying to teach him NRL, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I've been watching the Reds." We're like, "Yeah, no mate, no, it's a whole different type of rugby." So poor bloke.
Yeah, it's a good kid.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
cool.
mate,
Anything else from you?
No, mate, only the Crafty Pint and Pour It Out podcast.
Yeah,
Collab
next Wednesday,
week, which will be
so-
great. I'm looking forward to it.
It should be an interesting conversation with those guys. I must admit, I don't Because I don't I should listen to it when I'm going to East Brisbane. But
Yeah,
I just like
listen to it at 1.5 speed. You'll find the speed that works.
I should do that because like literally because now I'm like a K from the brewery. I don't really listen to podcasts that much. But yeah, it's probably Tuesday, Wednesdays is my stock take and delivery run to East Brisbane, so I should probably start doing it. I listened to the first couple, and I should probably listen to a few more before next Wednesday.
Yeah, probably a good idea. Everyone should brush up on their podcasts.
And then what Luke Cooper's doing something. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I think it's Formula One based. Yeah. So you wouldn't be interested?
Nah. Anyway, but no, it's all good fun. Like, hopefully, it's already like quarter way through the year. It's gone so quickly. So
yeah, it has.
And we waved goodbye to the 5-weekend month. So which was March, it's always good having 5 weekends in the month with Bermuda on top.
Helps the figures.
It helps the figures, but so it's it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, April's going to be an interesting month with Easter and a lot of long weekends with Anzac Day.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and then and what else are we doing here? Oh, we're about to do our hard lemon drink. Hard hiker, yes. Yeah, so we're partnering with a local soft drink manufacturer. Well, not local, but in Pittsworth.
Crafty one.
Yeah, crafty one. So we figured we didn't just want to get the syrup or whatever from the mainstream one. So so I'm looking forward to getting that done in the next few weeks.
Yep.
And launching Hard Hiker. So something different just to try and get the
Hard Hiker might be launched at a really cool event. So watch this space.
Could be. Yep.
We just need to confirm that. That'll be a bit fun if we can get that across the line.
Exactly, and it's not me dancing on tables.
No, it's not you dancing on tables, but you might need some glow sticks.
Yeah, actually, I didn't get on a table on Saturday.
No,
I'm a reformed table dancer.
Jeez, oh no, we've lost our table dancer.
And even these outdoor ones are more sturdy. So anyway, no, trying to behave, trying to get back in the groove and
set a good example,
fit and healthy.
Me too. I'm 2 days off the beer, and man, it feels weird. Too much water. I've been going to the toilet like every 20 minutes, it seems.
I know, our water bill just keeps going.
That's right.
I know, anyway, enough rambling.
All right, mate. Pour it out.
Take a hike.